I know there's bipartisan support in this chamber. Members of both parties have told me so. Where we too often run onto the rocks is how to pay for these investments.
To run onto the rocks originally referred to a boat which ran onto a rock and became disabled with a hole in the bottom of the boat and suffering against the forces of nature. So, for example, if a company is run onto the rocks or is on the rocks, it means that they are in very, very difficult circumstances where it's very difficult for them to survive in a good way. So the idea of run onto the rocks would refer to a pattern of events where there is typically some obstacle which is very difficult to circumvent or very difficult to avoid hitting. So a student, for example, might run onto the rocks because they don't have enough money to finish their education. Or a company might not have enough money to finish the factory.
You can say also to hit the wall, right?
It's similar. Nokia was a great cell phone provider 10 years ago, but unfortunately with the new cell phones from China and with the Apple iPhone, their fortunes have run onto the rocks, and it will be very difficult for them to recover. With microcomputers, people thought that IBM would end up on the rocks, but it turns out that companies still use mainframe computers, and in the meantime, IBM has been able to diversify into consulting services so they're not as dependent as they were on their former business strategies.
Lobbyists have rigged the tax code with loopholes that let some corporations pay nothing while others pay full freight.
A loophole originally referred to a small hole in a wall that people could shoot out of or shoot arrows out of. And that idea evolved into the idea of a small hole that somebody could escape through because of some law. So if there's a loophole in the law, that means that someone is able to escape from the law through the loophole. So oftentimes it's because the way the law is set up is to give someone an exception, and so they're able to take advantage of the exception or loophole in order to avoid having to comply. So, for example, a tax loophole would be where there is some way for a company to avoid paying taxes that they might otherwise have to pay. Or if there's a loophole in criminal law, someone might be quite guilty, but through some technicality they're able to escape punishment. A lot of times Congress attempts to eliminate the loopholes in tax law, but when they do, usually they create just as many loopholes as they close. Large corporations hire armies of tax accountants and lawyers in order to exploit any loophole they can find in the tax laws.
We need a tax code that truly helps working Americans trying to get a leg up in the new economy, and we can achieve that together.
To give a leg up means to give someone an advantage of some type. To give a leg up means to give someone an advantage of some type. Originally, it referred to helping someone to get up onto a horse or to climb a wall where typically people will put their hands together to form a step for the other person to climb up with. So in a more modern sense, it can also refer to giving someone an advantage of some type. As example, nowadays it's generally accepted that for young people to get internships in college will give them a leg up on getting permanent jobs after they get out of school. Or you can say getting a college degree will give people a leg up on having a successful career. Part of the idea of the affirmative action laws is to give a leg up to disadvantaged groups so they will be able to get the opportunity to get a fair shot, to get a level playing field, to have a good chance of being successful. In this case, a leg up, giving someone a leg up means to give them help or assistance in achieving some goal.
That's all for today. Tom Taylor is an ESL tutor. He teaches English in the United States and outside, all over the world using Skype. He can be reached at his website, which is
ESL-fullsteamahead.com.
click on this link and check out his website and email with questions. Thank you, Tom, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.